What's up, everybody? Eric Kaiser, Kaiser's Quest, Spiritual Awakening, my channel where I just come on here and vent and get it all out. Because I want other people going through an awakening, especially early on awakening, when you first figure out that you're awake, how to deal with a lot of it. Because I'll be honest with you, it's not the easiest thing to do. I'm on Ryan Cropper's Facebook page, and I tend to go there for some advice, and I kind of started to learn that I don't think everybody gets the concepts of an awakening. I'm a pretty intelligent person, I think. Maybe I'm missing some of the things, and I get it. We control our thoughts, it controls our life and stuff like that, but I think people are trying to make it sound a little bit more voila than what it really is. So here was my dilemma. I put a question in there. Now, if anybody follows the page, you might know me and my wife. I've had issues since we met for 6 years, just always arguing. When alcohol was involved, it was really toxic, where she was violent, and that violence just got swept underneath the rug, and I blamed it on alcohol. And don't get me wrong, I was no friggin' peach, right? I grew up with an alcohol dad who could cut you in half with words, and I turned into that douche for a long time. And my wife, it's not even about alcohol anymore. That stuff we put down when the babies were born. Grayson came into the world, and Carla started slowly changing more. And my wife's biggest problem in life, and whether she ever sees this and wants to hear it or not, and whether people want to say I created this, which that's the part I have problems with, is she just never really wanted to be involved in the hard part of the relationship. She wanted to be involved in the fun stuff and things like that, because that's always fun. But I don't really think my wife really ever thinks back about how petty and mean she would be over just the dumbest things. So many trips with my kid and my mom and things. I just have crappy memories now because Carla was involved and she brought a bad attitude into it. So I just went at Ryan's group and say, what's the lesson here? Me and my wife's only problem is, and keep in mind, she got herself in a little bit of trouble recently because she's a violent person. Do I push her violent buttons? I guess. I don't want to, right? But after 6 years of being punched in the face and just living your life that way, it kind of comes down to a point where, shit, I just realized I was awake 45 days ago. Now I get the principles of not saying names to people when they call you names and not engaging. Now I get all that. But this is where I'm at with the whole situation, right? When you're awakening, you start to learn little lessons. And some of those lessons might be that you place somebody into your life on purpose. I wanted to meet my wife. I wanted to go through this. And you want to know why I think I wanted to go through this? Because my wife did every cocksucking thing that I ever done to anybody else to ever hurt them. I caught my wife talking to two different dudes behind my back. One was a bouncer, one was a friend. Don't know what happened, right? I wasn't there. They were texting each other. They were flirting. They were doing enough things that would point fingers to say something was going on. And I simply swept it underneath the rug, forgot about it. But I guess really, you never forget about it, right? Because I just talked about it. So my whole thing is, me and my wife's problem is, after the babies, it was always excuses. I can't do this, I can't do that. But she was that way when I met her. And it just sucks because we're to the point where I'm going through this awakening. I understand the rules. I understand how we get ahead. She just don't want to see it. I share content from great creators about healing your inner child. I offer to pay for classes for healing of inner child, and she's at a point in a relationship, and I guess after 6 years of just total chaos, and I'm to the same point too. This is mean to say, I'm just not really attracted to my wife anymore of who she's become. She's not the same person at all. And it really changed a lot. Like kids, it got worse and worse. And it just comes down to my wife's habits. She's 30 years old. She wants to live inside of a cell phone and things like that. And it sucks because I don't know how to get her out of it, right? I just don't know how to get out of it. Every time I try, it turns into a fight. So I just don't know. But then, you go in these groups and they make you think that your thoughts will change the situation. And so they almost force you into staying in a situation that you already know isn't good for you. Now, I'll tell you why it really stinks. I moved to Florida because I wanted to, but I also moved to Florida to give my wife a fresh start because she had some bad stuff happen to her as a child in Georgia, and I thought it'd be good for her to press reset. Her therapist thought it would be good to press reset everything. And, now I'm forced because of her actions and the habits and the things that she's done. Now I'm forced to have to move back to Georgia. And, I think most men would tell her to go pound sand because of everything she did, but I'm still being nice, still offering her help, letting her have 50-50 custody of the kids, where I still think she has a lot to learn about being present with your children so certain things won't happen, but I care about her enough to try to see it all the way through. And that's kind of what I did today on Ryan Cropper's page. And I had people attack me and act like, I'm being mean. And listen, after you live through 6 years of just negative stuff, it's hard to dig deep again and find those like bursts of positivity when a person don't want to change. So it's not that I don't like my wife. I love my wife. I just can't be with my wife, right? Right now I can't be with her because she don't even want to get close to the same vibration, She looks at modular homes and talks about how nice they are. I'm looking at $50 million mansions. It's a different mentality. And trust me, it's not about money. I would never buy anything like that. I'm more of as I make my money, I'm going to invest it in helping kids not get tied up in alcohol. Always remember that everything I'm doing, and that's why the universe knows I'm doing it from my heart. Granted, do I still got a little bit of ego in there that, I want that money. So yeah, but I'm washing that shit out so fast. It's just hard. The spiritual awakening process. This is by far, even though I went through the dark night of soul, I've had suicidal thoughts. I lived in my car. I lived, fucking had no heat before. I have been in the freaking gutter of gutters, right? In jail so many times for minor petty traffic stuff. But it all adds up to really kick in the face. And that's what people have to understand. Put my wife in my life to be the final kick in my face, right? To be the final, now next time around when you meet somebody, treat them differently, no matter what their habits are, right? If they have bad habits, hog them, right? Talk to them in that way, talk to them in a love sense. As people, I didn't know this stuff, right? I'm just now learning it, and I guess it's just too late to bring that part back, right? What do you do when a person wants to run back to their mom and live that way? You just can't do nothing. So just roll with the punches. But I got some exciting stuff coming. Exciting. Life is crazy, right? You plant enough seeds, beautiful things grow. I've had a bunch of things on the back burner for a while. I have a clothing line that supports Mary Jane and things like that I designed in my brain a long time ago, and I let sit for the perfect moment. And the perfect moment happened when I met Spiro and listened to this kid's music, and I was just like, oh my God, bro, why are you not famous already? And, kicked my idea to him. He's kicking the idea to his investor who's worth a lots of money. And hopefully we get this thing launched. We get it on the ground, and I really dig this cat. I would like to know him in 20 years. We all went to lunch yesterday. Brought in a graphic designer named Jay. He's a great guy too. I like to get to know him. It just sucks because now I'm being pulled back to Georgia, and don't get me wrong, I will do my part from there and fly into here whenever I need to be for business, because I'm changing my life, right? I'm chasing after stars, and I'm going to catch some damn stars. And yeah, I might have to go through some pain of a divorce and things like that to grab that star. But my whole journey in life was to grab stars to hand them to my children. And I'm going to grab the damn stars and hand them to my children, because it's clear as hell that I'm the only one worried about doing that. I'm the only one worried about giving my kids the best possible life that they deserve. So sometimes in life, you just got to buckle give it all you got, right? So it's going to be beautiful because y'all are going to watch an underdog, no driver's license, Warrenton, New Jersey, back in child support. So far it's not even funny. You're going to watch me like almost like a voila and just change it all. That's the beautiful thing about not being the person that people think you are, right? Everybody thinks I'm this arrogant asshole and I don't have feelings, and you know, they want to live in the past where I used to be. Well, I'm not that guy anymore. I just want the best out of life that life has to offer, and for people who can't get in line with that, then they're just not meant to be in your life. And don't let anybody talk you into staying in a toxic, volatile relationship with an abusive person. I've talked myself into staying so many times thinking it would change, and it never does. So I'm going to take my wife's advice and I'm going to let this just crumble to the ground. And I am going to build an effing empire. Watch, an effing empire. It's coming, people. I love y'all. Gotta go.